culture. If you go to the Caribbeans, a lot of the like when I was in Guadeloupe and stuff, a lot of the graves look kind of similar to tombs that are above ground.
Okay.
Yeah, this is like some real stuff you're looking at here. It's not just a Louisiana thing, though, is my point.
Right.
I like to do that. Go to the walk into the graveyards, Catholic churches, and go to the crucifix. Like the one at Immaculate Heart and Mary is black,
Really?
black Jesus.
Oh, cool.
I like that.
Do you feel like there's a connection between how both Catholicism and South Louisiana culture has a tendency to get whitewashed, and that there's like a lot of really rich African or Afro Creole tradition that just kind of gets, gets kind of pushed
Uh
over?
yeah, I mean there's a lot of black influence on Louisiana. The way of worshiping, like in the way that like the Catholicism is here. As a matter of fact, that's what I want to start making a few little videos about. Because I even have like black people approach me because I wear my crucifix and I wear my rosary. So they may say like, let me guess, you Catholic, or what do you think about what the Catholics did to us black folks as slaves, this and that. But back to your question, because of the colonization and because of the West African slave trade and because of things like that, African black people have developed their own way of like worshiping Jesus. But we have to see it this way because I've had many debates with black people even. We have to see it like this. What all the people that were put into the colonies or wherever that came with the French or the Spanish people, the Native Americans, they all have something to do with the way Louisiana Catholicism has evolved and developed. Because I work at Vermilionville, so that's one thing that I preach to people. But another thing for people to realize is that like black people as slaves. Okay, if you really understand the Bible well, the way the Jews and the ancient Hebrews what they went through. So yeah, they went through slavery for a long time. Then they were led through all this mess and all kinds of stuff, probably Nephilim, whatever you can think of, to get to giants or whatever, just to get to what they call the promised land of paradise. Now, ain't that something? And a lot of them didn't make it. A lot of them died along the way, right? Even Moses wasn't even allowed into the promised land at the end. See? So black people nowadays need to take it a little bit more easy on that whole slavery is because of slavery and this and that, because there's things that can be done still. Now, is there still like undercover some things in the system against black people? And is there still a disadvantage to having ancestors that were slaves and stuff and it could have put some people back in generations? Yes. But no, not that big of a how people make it out to be. The majority of it probably happened more like back in the 70s and in the 80s and early 90s is where the biggest problem happened with black people probably. And when it came to like why we have ghettos and hoods, a lot of incarceration, and a lot of the young guys and a lot of young women are just lost and misled, a lot of violence and things like that, and thuggerism. It's in the music also, the entertainment. And it's also because Jesus ain't in the household no more. Prayer and togetherness as a family, all that as a community, and Jesus God. Everybody want to get into this or that, or want to get out of, I'm African, so I'm gonna go to voodoo, I'm gonna go to Muslim or whatever, which got to Africa through an Arab invasion from the Middle East. But let's get into this part right here. Um, Christianity existed and well established in West Africa and in East Africa like 400 years before it ever was in anywhere in Europe. In Europe, they were still pagans and you had druids and stuff and all that. So now we're talking 400 years before it was ever any way established like as a religion set up, like so as a organized religion in Europe. So this is something, just some news for those that want to say, we really were Muslim and we're supposed to be voodoo. Well, sometimes bad things happen to get to the paradise. So be grateful for be grateful to God that we are who we are and where we're from and how we have made it a mighty long way. And for those of y'all that want to say, because I got a brother that's incarcerated for life, you can imagine this something must have been really bad. I got cousins that are just incarcerated. I've seen my parents incarcerated, my uncles and stuff like that. So I descend from slaves too. So whatever, you know. And I damn sure ain't rich and nowhere near middle class. I'm a very kind of impoverished person, but I'm living. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for my life. I work. I make it through somehow. Grateful to God. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, we're walking into St. John's Cathedral now. There might be we're gonna enter right in front of the tabernacle, which is to the left of the altar, but might be some people in there praying and stuff. So we want to kind of be respectful and quiet. Now, if there ain't no one really praying, or it's just like free and open, or some tourists in there, then we can kind of talk. That's the tabernacle right there. Altar right here. Stand over here, you can see better. And also we got the up here we have a really nice organ set.